Wouldn't that be amazing? You type in a single word into your terminal and as by magic, a complete folder structure would be created, a new project is set up and opened, and you can start right away. Well, let's do it! Welcome to a new recipe in the kitchen. For instance, I have a folder on my desktop for all my music projects. Of course, I should mention that this is my specific setup. It might be different for everyone else, but perhaps this gives you a few ideas. I have folders for all currently active projects, for live performances, and for songs that have already been released, which keeps my open projects folder tidy. And I have a developer folder for all the things I create here, such as the script and template for the workflow I'm building with you today. Just creating a new template folder. After all, our script isn't magic. Since Ableton Live lacks an interface for creating a new project via a terminal command, our trick is to copy and rename. That's what our script does. So first of all, I create a default project that I always want to start with. For example, I don't need the predefined effects. In addition, I always need 2 audio tracks for recording, sampling and resampling, plus 2 standard audio tracks to store processed samples. I also have created me a standard effect for EQing, mixing, dynamics and stuff, so every audio track is getting one of it. And the master chain will get a spectrum analyzer, and that's it. Now you can save your project as a default live project if you want to. But to use my automation script, I naturally have to save my project in my newly created templates folder. For now, I just name it NKDefaultProjectTemplate. Once I have done that, I need to think about what else I need within my projects folder. To reiterate, this is, of course, the structure I always use. You can handle it however it works best for you. I have a folder for my mixdowns, versions, various mastering presets, external samples, and visual content, which in turn contains cover art, reels, and raw footage. That's it! A template for the perfect project has been created. So let's write the script. I won't go into detail on certain points here, but if you want to know more about things like terminal navigation or access permissions, feel free to revisit the scripts and shortcut commands chapter in Sourcebook's The Kitchen project. I create a new folder named Scripts next to my templates folder and open a terminal in it. Then I'm creating my script file and name it makenewproject.sh. You can open it by double-clicking with the Finder or just with the terminal typing in open makenewproject.sh and the empty file will be opened. Now for the header line, so the computer knows where the executable is located. Here, once again, is the difference between the path to the macOS specific bash and the more general notation that would also work on Linux. I'll stick with the second one. You can easily test whether there is an error in the line and whether the computer finds bash by simply running the script in its current state. To do this, I'll make it executable using change mode +X and run it. As you can see, it doesn't do anything, but no error occurs either, so everything's fine. Now let's take a look at how output works. The keyword for this is echo, followed by the content you want to output, enclosed in quotation marks. Running the script again, and you can see the output displayed in the terminal. Next, we need to look at how to accept and validate arguments. We want to accept the desired project name and store it in a variable. We simply call this variable name in uppercase letters. After that, write equals and $1 inside quotes and important no space between any of the elements. In this case, the 1 represents the first argument that was passed. So the first argument is now stored in a variable named name, and we can use it. For example, we can output it directly in a response like that. To access the variable's content within the string, we need to place a $sign before the name. Now in terminal, we can type in something like makeNewProject.sh space myNewProject. And you can see the displayed response. Project name, myNewProject. Okay, next step. We want to check whether our first argument is actually set. To do that, we can write if square brackets space minus set space $1 in quotation marks space. The spaces are important here. Minus set means 0 or something like is empty. So in reality, then our expression means is the first argument not set? We are therefore checking for the opposite. So after that comes the semicolon and the keyword then. Then we can go into the next line and can output something like error, please type in a project name. From here, we can also exit the script directly using the exit keyword, appending a code like 1, for example. The 1 indicates that an error occurred. 0 would mean everything is fine and the script terminated normally. The script exits immediately at this point and nothing following this line is executed. We close the if block with a reversed if. So if we run the script now with no argument, we're simply getting our error. And the other way around, if we give it an argument, it will work. But if we don't just want to look at the first argument, but rather check whether only one argument was passed and not 2 or more, then we can do it like this. Replace the $1 with $#, which stands for arguments count, and then minus an e, which means not equal, and followed by 1, which then means if argument count is not equal 1, then it doesn't work with no argument, and it also doesn't work with 2 arguments. It just works with 1 argument. By convention, it is also good practice to include a note on usage, for example like this. So now we know how to read in arguments, store them in variables, and then use those variables, for example for screen output. Now let's clean things up and give our variable a more fitting name. I'll call it NewProjectName. Now I define another variable that stores the path to the template project. Incidentally, there are also system variables such as home, which stores the path to the user directory. Now I'm adding the path components to my template project directory. Once again in quotes and without spaces. And for those paying close attention, with an arrow in the path too. I'll come back to that later. Another variable defines my destination path. So my new project is to go directly into my Open Projects folder. And now we simply need to copy the template project to the destination. CP means copy, -R means recursive, because we want to have all the directories and files within the template folder. And then we need the template variable, which holds the path to the template, and the destination variable, which holds the path to the destination. And after that, we just have to rename the copied project file, the ALS file, within the project folder. You can do this with MV, which stands for move. But since we aren't moving the file elsewhere, leaving it in the same folder instead, it simply gets renamed. Right, so the first test run is now throwing exactly the error I caused earlier with my path specification. Unfortunately, the error message is only partially informative, given that NKDefaultProjectTemplate actually exists. But I want to show you a way to find out where the error lies. I've commented out the commands that were supposed to run and simply written a comment to list the files in the folder. I'm now entering the full path to the template into the first variable, since it does, after all, exist. To avoid typos here, you can use the Finder again. Right-click the template folder, get info, and then copy as path name. Then simply paste it into your script. So if we run the script now and get a list of the contents, we know that the full path works. Therefore, the error must have been in the path I specified earlier. And yes, as you can see, I simply forgot the desktop path component. So fix everything and give it another try. And yes, a new project is created. It has all the necessary folders. You can open it and it already has the correct name. Now let's turn this into a shortcut command so that we don't have to type out the full path to the script every time. As you can see here, I have a completely new system and the terminal configuration file .zshrc doesn't exist, but it doesn't matter. I'm using the built-in Nano editor, and if I specify the file name now and the file doesn't exist yet, Nano creates it automatically. However, instead of creating an alias like last time, I'm using a function this time. That gives me more flexibility when using arguments. I just call it new project. In the function body, I'm just writing my full path to the script now. And then the argument. Close it with the brackets. Save it with Ctrl O. File name is just the right one, so I just press enter to confirm that. Then Ctrl X to exit Nano. And then I'm just starting the terminal again, so that the configuration file is loaded. Let's just have a look if it's there. Yes, there it is. With cat and the file name, I can just display the file content. And now the first test. New project without any argument should throw an error. It does, but it's the wrong error. Just make a test with 2 comments that should also throw an error and give the usage information, but that also doesn't work. And that's just because the function doesn't deal with the first argument. Just open my file again. And instead of using the 1, I have to use the @ sign, and that means pass in all arguments. And now the script gets the right arguments and can deal with it. So now the final test, new project, test, and here we go. The test project folder is created with all the folders we need within and the test ALS file. Also the arrow case is working. Now only one thing is left, and that's open the new project. So I'm just copying the path to the new project and write open, new project, and that's it. Now one last try. I just open a terminal, type in new project, call it test project, enter, and here we are. Let's make music right away. If I was able to meaningfully enhance your workflow, I'm really happy about that. Feel free to subscribe my channel so you don't miss any tinkering here. Also, check out the free The Kitchen Bundle on Sourcebook Academy, where you'll find this and other exciting use cases for scripting in a producer's daily work. So then, I'm Nelson K. Live creatively.